Evidence-based practices are those practices that have been well researched, implemented in a number of jurisdictions, and have found the same outcomes over and over again. So it's not just one program that somebody has operated and they found some success. It's a program that has been implemented in many, many jurisdictions and then studied. What's important, I think, for me to say here about evidence-based practices is this, that a lot of jurisdictions think that they're doing evidence-based practices. But when you evaluate what they're doing, it turns out that maybe they're not doing exactly what they should be doing as far as evidence-based practices go. So there are really 4 basic principles to evidence-based practices. There's a risk principle, a need principle, a responsivity principle, and a program fidelity principle. Let me just quickly cover those 4 principles. The risk principle says this, that in order to change behavior and reduce recidivism, you must do some kind of a risk assessment that determines what the criminogenic risk factors are of an offender. The need principle basically says that once you determine that, you need to address those principles. The responsivity principle has to do with the notion that sometimes we think of one program fitting for everyone, and that's not the case. There are a number of different programs that work better for some offenders as opposed to others. The program fidelity principle is the principle that I have been focusing on and talking with people about here. And that basically says that if you are going to operate some program that's evidence-based, the important part is that you implement it well, that training is provided on how to implement it, that there's some kind of monitoring of it, and that there's some research and evaluation that's done on the program that provides outcomes. So it's important not just to say that you're doing evidence-based practices, but actually doing evidence-based practices.